Hey there, planners. Today it is a pen and Tomoe River paper showdown. We're going to test all of the pens that I have loved over the years and keep coming back to all different kinds of pens on the Hobonichi Cousin Tomoe River paper, and we're going to see what works best. So go grab your planners and let's get planning. So one of the things people often ask about, especially if they're new to Hobonichi Cousin planners or Hobonichi planners, is what pens do I use on this paper? So Hobonichi planners have Tomoe River paper, which is a very nice, very thin Japanese paper. It is known for being fountain pen friendly and protecting against bleed through on the back side of a page. However, there are some tricks with Hobonichi paper because it is fountain pen friendly, meaning there's a special coating on it, which some of our favorite pens don't really work well on Hobonichi paper because they don't seem to dry and there's a major smudge factor. And as a person who enjoys looking at a planner page, smudging is the greatest enemy. So I pulled out, I'm a pen fanatic, so I pulled out all the pens that I have loved over the years, and I wanted to just test them and share the results real time with you as I'm testing, so that maybe you can have some idea of where to start with pens on Hobonichi paper, or maybe there's a pen here that you've never heard of that you think, oh, that would be a good one for me too. So we're just going to go test them out. I will write the name of the pen, I will make a mark and just kind of, how does it write? Is it smooth? Is it easy to write with? Does it come out too gloopy? And then we'll make another mark and do a smudge test. I'll give it just a couple seconds like we normally do when I'm writing, and then test the smudge factor and see how bad it smudges. So before I dive right in, I do want to say welcome to those of you who are new to Planning Annie. Here at Planning Annie, we are a community of planner enthusiasts. We love our planners. We love our planner systems. We love being productive. We love getting things done. We also love all of the stationery and the creative outlets that the planning and journaling community provides for us, testing out new things and expressing ourselves creatively through our planner supplies. So if that sounds like something you enjoy too, we do hope that you'll consider subscribing and becoming a permanent part of our community. Make sure you hop down in the comments below. There's always a really good discussion going on down there. I'm sharing ideas, asking questions, answering questions. And for this video specifically, I would love to hear if you have used Tomoe River paper and you have a favorite pen that I'm not testing out here, or if your pen is tested out here and you don't agree with the results. Please leave that down in the comments below, because I would love for this video and the comments section to be a great reference for anyone new to Hobonichi planners and Tomoe River paper. All right, so I'm going to start with my all-time favorite go-to. I love this pen. I have it in a gazillion different colors. UniJet Stream multi-pen. I love this pen. It has been my favorite pen for years and years, and I actually discovered this pen because of the Hobonichi planner probably 4 years ago. I love the thick barrel. Because it's a multi-pen, it's got a thick barrel. It is ballpoint, which ballpoint tends to work a little better on Tomoe River paper. Now, this pen specifically has 0.7 refills in it for size. You can buy the refills for this for these pens really easily, and you can get them in many sizes on Amazon. And I should say, I will have all of the pens that I can find linked down in the description box below if you're interested in checking them out. So for writing, this writes very smooth on the Tomoe River paper. It is a very smooth write. It glides across the paper with no issues at all. I never have any skipping problems. This is a great pen. For smudge, so if I just write, give it a second, I get the tiniest little bit, but it is, I really am pushing hard to get that, just the tiniest little bit of smudging. But if you are careful, I have found that this is one of the best pens. So for example, for here, I'm not going to get any smudging now because it's had just a couple seconds to dry. So this one is a great option. I will put a little star by this one. This is one that I would highly recommend. All right, here's an oldie but goodie. I haven't used this pen in a really long time, but I love this pen. I love the way it writes in, you know, like bullet journals and Archer and Olive notebooks and Scribbles That Matter notebooks. This is the Pilot Precise V5 Rollerball pen in extra fine. So this is a gel pen, and gel pens and Tombo River paper typically do not get along. I will say that it is a little gloopy. When I'm writing with this on this paper, I feel like the ink is coming out too thick. It just feels a little gloopy, and that's not unusual for gel pens on Tombo River paper. So let's do the smudge test. I'll give it a couple seconds. Ew, not good. I'm gonna need something to clean my hand. Yeah, so this is bad. We're gonna give this a down arrow. That smudge is horrible, and I would say, let me just go back. Yeah, even now, you see that smudging. It would take a really long time for this to dry. All right, next up, we're gonna try a favorite pen that I have used for many years, even though I cannot hand letter and don't do any pretty brush lettering with it. It is the Tombo. I'm going to butcher that name, so I'm just going to show it to you. Fudonosuke, maybe? I will have it linked down below. You guys know what this pen is. If you're into pens, it's been around for a long time. I love this pen because I can write with darker ink with it. So if I'm using, you know, my UniJet stream pen and that's kind of thin and I want to kind of highlight something or call out something, I can use this Tombo pen. Okay, for how it feels to write with, it feels like painting. So if you've ever, you know, sort of wielded a paintbrush on paper that's not like meant for painting, it feels like that. It feels like it just glides across. It doesn't feel gloopy, but it feels like it glides across the paper really easily. So let's do the smudge test. And you can see my handwriting is so bad. I do not have pretty lettering handwriting. Whew. Smudge test is not so great. I do know that if you give it time, it is a good pen to use in here. You just have to be patient with it. But for just every day, I'm going to write on this paper and go. I would say that this is probably not the right one to use for some special lettering that you want to do, or like I use it for very selective highlighting or calling or underlining things. I find that to work really well. Okay, next up, I want to try the Papermate Flare Ultra Fine. Okay, so for how this one feels when you're writing with it, it feels very smooth. It's going on nicely. It's Papermate Flares, if you're not familiar with these, they have sort of the felt tip marker style pen. This one is ultra fine, so it's almost got like a needle point pen tip, which I really like. Let's do the smudge. So I'll give it just a second. Okay, that's really good. That is actually, that might be equal to or even a little bit better than the UniJet stream, which surprises me about this. I did not think this would do so well. So that actually surprises me. And that's exciting because I have a lot of these. They come in great packs of different colors, and finding colored pens that do well on this paper too. That's really, really exciting. All right, next up, we're going to do the Sharpie S-Gel. I love the Sharpie S-Gel. It is such a fantastic gel pen. I don't know that I've ever tried it in a Hobonichi planner just because it is such a thick gel pen. I kind of anticipate it not to work. So we'll see how it goes. All right, for how this feels on this paper, it feels like water. It feels like I'm pouring water on this paper, and it feels dangerous. It feels like it's very wet when I'm writing on this paper. So that's about the best way. These descriptions of how things feel, I don't know if it's coming across or if it's just like the first word that comes to my head. But let's try the smudge factor. So I'll give it a couple seconds. Oh yeah, no. And that's exactly what I thought it would do. Yeah, that's a no-go. I feel like this might never dry on this paper. All right, the next one I want to show is one of the most unassuming pens looking. It just looks like nothing. But these were a favorite of mine for a really long time. These are Muji gel pens. I had these when I was in high school, and so there's something nostalgic about these, and then you can get them in lots of different colors. They're pretty inexpensive, and I love that they come in a 0.38. I went through a phase where this was the only pen I would use ever, and really, really loved it. I don't know that I've ever tried it in here, but it'll be interesting to see. So this one is very thin. And another thing you can see is it has sort of a pointy needle tip. And so when writing, it feels a little scratchy on this paper. It doesn't feel, it's usually Tomoe River paper is super accepting and smooth for, most writing. It doesn't feel scratchy. This feels very scratchy, which is unusual. Let's do the smudge test. And, oh wow, no smudge, none. That is surprising, actually, because it is a gel pen. So for it to have none, I mean, really none, like even the UniJet stream had a little bit. So that's unfortunate that it's scratchy feeling, but it doesn't smudge. It's actually a great fit. It might be that in a larger size, because again, this is the 0.38, which is the smallest. You can get this in a 5 and I believe in a 7 size, pen. Perhaps those would write a little smoother. Well, my camera battery died, I changed it out, and I forgot to hit record, and I went ahead and did all the rest of the pens. So here's what I can tell you. I will just pick up with what wins. The UniJet Stream is a great pen. This one is a winner, and it does great. And you can see that here. There's just a slight bit of smudging, but it feels so smooth. You can buy it in lots of different colors and options. There's different colors that you can insert. It has a pencil. It's just so many things to love about this pen. So that one is definitely a winner. The Precise Pilot B5 out, feels gloopy, smudges. The Tombo Suki, it's not great. If you want to use it for, special highlighting, brush pens, things like that, lettering, it might be good for that. The surprising to me, the Papermate Flare Ultra Fine did really well. I'm shocked by that. I did not expect that. So that surprises me, and I'm thrilled. Sharpie S Gel out, obviously. It's a super wet, watery gel pen. The Muji gel pen, very surprising. Did great. Did not expect that, considering it's a gel pen. So I might have to go. It's been a while since I've used this pen. I might have to go back and look for more of those. The Pilot Friction, not so great, and it just doesn't write well on this paper. It's not very, the ink doesn't come out a lot, but more importantly, it smudges. Uniball 1, no good, really bad. Zebra Sarasa Clip did pretty well, and it comes in a lot of different colors, so that is definitely a good option. The Pilot, the Pigma Micron drawing pens are excellent, and this is archival ink, so if you are concerned about having your pen, making sure your pen lasts a long time, this would be a great option. Pilot Dr. Grip Gel out, Pilot G2 out, Pentel Energel out, Zebra Sarasa Mark-On in. However, I'm going to be shopping for a larger size because this one felt a little scratchy in the 0.4 size to me. Papermate Inkjoy, really surprising. This is the Papermate Inkjoy 0.7. Super surprised, but that did really good to be such a popular gel pen. The Toll out and the Pilot Acroball in. So those are the pens that won and did really well. The rest of them, you can certainly use any pen that you want to in your Hobonichi planner. However, you need to test them out because they could take a while to dry. And do you have time to leave your planner page open to dry? And are you careful enough to not smudge? I'm not. I would smudge everything because I'm not very patient and I write quickly and sometimes messy. So I don't want to have to be that careful. So I'm going to be choosing from these pens as I use my Hobonichi Cousin next year. I hope you enjoyed the video. I absolutely hate that we missed a huge section of me going through, but hopefully the results do help you out. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Planning Annie for more content like this. And as always, thanks for planning with me.